So today we plan to start BPC 11.1, which works on BW per HAN. So BPC 11.1 standard configuration. As you know, in BPC, SAP is having three products. One is BPC standard, which is the basic one. So when SAP acquired Outlook Soft, they started this BPC standard. Then on HANA, they started BPC embedded. So when you have BW on HANA, you can go with the BPC standard and BPC embedded, both the options they have given. Then they come up with something called BPC optimized and BPC real-time consolidation or RTC. So what they did earlier, we have only BPC standard product and implementations were happening in BPC standard. After introduction this particular HANA system, HANA database, columnar storage, what they did, the old products of SAP like BWIP, integrated planning, right, they converted as BPC embedded. So they have taken some BPC standard functionalities and added, and they created BPC embedded. And also there was some ECC planning happening, cost center planning, KP06, internal order planning. For those they developed BPC optimized. So it's been happening since for 12 years. This change has happened. Now, what they did earlier, we used to have one certification called C_EPM BPC _10. So in that we used to have BPC standard planning and consolidation. Only these two, only BPC standard is part of that. Now they introduced new certification which is called C_EPM BPC _11. In this, all these three products are included. So now BPC means not only optimized, not only embedded, it's all together. So you have to gather the requirement from the customer. For example, it depends on your customer licenses. For example, if your customer is having BW for HANA license, they want to implement BPC on top of BW for HANA, then they can go for BPC standard and BPC embedded. These two options are there. Now in this BPC standard and BPC embedded, they can choose. Let's say I have 10 requirements. You gather the requirements, you gather your sales requirement, you gather your capacity planning, you gather your cost of goods manufacture planning, you gather your purchase plan, or you gather requirements for manpower planning. And once you gather the requirement, then you will understand which can be, if you know BPC standard, you can easily tell that these are the scenarios I can implement in BPC standard. If you know BPC embedded, then you can segregate, okay, these are the scenarios we can implement in BPC standard, these are the scenarios we can implement in BPC embedded. So if you have BW for HANA system, so BW for HANA, now the latest version, BW for HANA 2, this one. So in this system, you can go for BPC standard and BPC embedded. How can I say this is enabled for, this is BW for HANA system? If you go to system status, there you will understand like what is the installed products, BW for HANA, yeah, and also BPC for HANA. In order to implement BPC standard and BPC embedded, you need BPC 11.1 for this particular component, BPC for HANA component. Now we are going to start with planning, BPC standard planning, and then once we complete BPC standard planning, we will start consolidation. So as I said like earlier, it's all based on implementation project. So based on my previous experience, we design the requirements. Actually, we gather the requirements, we design the requirements. So designing part, I will tell you how you can collect the requirement, how can you design the solution. This part I will tell you. If you understand this one, I'll also guide you. You can, how to prepare the blueprint and all those stuff for BPC standard. Each and every item we are going to configure. For example, sales planning, we are going to gather the requirement, we are going to design the solution. After that, we are going to implement that solution in the system. So you are going to get the hands-on. So what master data objects you have to create, what transaction data objects you have to create, how the input templates are created, how the workflow is enabled, how the data locking system is enabled, how the validation happens, how the reports are created, how comparison reports like plan versus actual comparison reports, if you have any calculations. So how the calculations are implemented, these are the part of our BPC standard course. One more thing you have to understand. You might have, so first scenario we discussed, if the customer is having BW for HANA license, right? If they have BW for HANA license, BPC standard and BPC embedded they can implement. If the customer is having S4 HANA license, right? They don't have BW for HANA, for example. Yeah. Then they have the option of all these three solutions. So S4 HANA by default it comes with BW system. For example, when I connect to S4 HANA system, this is my S4 HANA system. This is my S4 HANA system, and I go here. I have S4 HANA on-premise version, yeah, and BW will be part of this particular package. For example, SAP BW, you can see by default it installs this particular component. So S4 HANA, as all you know, like it's combination of transactional system and analytical system. Earlier, we used to have transactional system separate and data warehousing system is separate. For example, we used to have ECC and BW. Now, in one system, you can get ECC and BW functionalities. So now I can post the transaction. For example, I am posting a sales order. There itself, I can have one option to check the reports, whatever I want relevant to that particular customer, and I can take the decision and I can post the data. Take the decision, for example, when you are posting a sales order. The customer, you want to give some discount. Yeah. If the customer is given business something more than $100,000, then you are going to give 20% discount. Right. So you can, same screen itself, you can execute some report where you can see the customer business, how much business he has given. Based on that, you can take the decision and you can give the discount percentage. Yeah.
Kiran, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Just testing. Sorry, I actually was on mute before.
Okay. So,
Kiran, a quick question to Kiran here. So, for the S4 HANA, you mentioned the BW is already available. The system is already available in S4. But then for the normal, even the ECC versions also, you have the BW which is embedded, right?
No.
So
ECC version, you have to take separate license for BW.
Okay.
It's a separate server, not part of your ECC system.
Okay.
So SAP combined these two, right? So ECC capabilities plus ERP capabilities plus data warehousing capabilities, and they made this particular S4HANA. So S4HANA, when you talk about S4HANA, even there are some simplifications happened in this particular S4HANA system. So for example, earlier you have 10 tables, now you have only one table. So the main table is a universal journal table. In that, asset accounting data, GL data, AP data, AR data, all the data are stored. Now, in this S4HANA, what options you have? You can go with BPC standard, you can go with BPC embedded, you can go with BPC optimized. All these three options are there. So one thing I want to make sure that whether that may be S4HANA, BW for HANA, you can go for BPC implementation. And it's not that only BPC standard you should know, you have to know all the BPC products. All the BPC products, whatever products are there in the market, all together called one BPC product. When you get the requirement BPC, don't think only BPC standard, it's all. But one thing I can tell you, can you do
successfully?
Right. So, I will mute you. So you can unmute at any time, not an issue. So all the three products we should know, even for the certification we need, and even when you are implementing all the three products you should know. Now S4HANA will have BW system, and all the in the BW system we are going to implement all these things. Now so many new things happened in BPC 11.1. One more thing I want to tell you. In S4HANA, whatever configuration you are going to do, that is called as BPC 10.1, right? On top of BW for HANA, you have BPC 11.1. Yeah. Now, I am going to cover BPC 11.1. You might have a question whether I can work on BPC 10.1 or not. Yeah. So you are going to learn the higher version. That means you can work on any lower versions. The functionalities are same. Whatever it may be BPC 11.1, it may be 10.1. When you want to execute balance carry for, this is the functionality. Same functionality in 10.1 and 11.1. When you want to do the reclassifications, when you want to do the cash flow calculations, when you want to do the changes in equity, or when you want to plan sales, or when you want to plan your manpower, the solutioning, the configuration, everything same. Only one or two screens will change. Also, BW side some configuration will change. That I will explain. So this course covers BPC 11.1 and BPC 10.1 both. Now, what are the scenarios we are going to cover as part of this particular BPC 11.1? So we are going to cover sales planning scenario. First thing we are going to cover sales planning scenario. Right. We are going to cover sales planning scenario. So when you create a P&L statement, what are the things you need? First you have to have sales, yeah, future sales. So actual sales you want, plan sales you want, right? Plan sales monthly, yearly, whatever the way. So we are going to have sales plan. Then you need cost of goods manufactured. As part of cost of goods manufactured, you have capacity planning, you have product cost planning, you have purchase plan, you have raw material cost planning. So whatever scenarios required for the COGM, I documented. So all those things we are going to discuss, and we are going to discuss manpower planning. So that manpower cost you will get, depreciation, You will get depreciation relevant expenses. Also, you have other expenses, whatever other expenses like administration expenses, professional expenses. So I'm just writing as other expenses. And also tax calculations, whatever the tax calculations you have, that we are going to do. And after that, we are going to discuss how the cash flow happens. Planned cash flow. See, planned balance sheet. Most of the customers, their main target is planned P&L. So because they want to understand what is their future profitability. So most of the customers, our scope will be P&L planning only, still P&L planning only. So balance sheet planning and cash flow planning, we are going to discuss how to enable if your customer is, I mean, if they want balance sheet planning and cash flow planning, yes, we can do those two also. We will discuss that also. So apart from these, we are going to discuss capital expenditure planning, which is that may be new asset planning, that may be new project planning. We are going to discuss those things. Now, when we start with sales planning. The sales planning, we are going to gather the requirement. Those requirement, I will keep it in steps: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and each step we will give the solution and we will implement in the system. That's what. And this particular session, I plan from India Monday to Friday. India Monday to Friday, that becomes India Monday 7:30, for example, 7:30 morning time. So it becomes US Sunday, I think 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Yeah. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask me now.
Kiran, are we going to discuss about OPEX as well?
Yeah. So other expenses I have written, but it's available. Okay, we are going to discuss so how to plan these other expenses or operational expenses, and we are going to talk about the retraction. For example, if you have you plan the data, but you need this data, whatever expenses you plan, for budget control system. So we are going to discuss how to push this BPC plan data to ERP tables. That may be funds management, that may be cost center planning, that may be WBS element wise project systems planning. Yeah, we are going to retract that data. We are going to discuss that retraction option also. Any other questions?
Kiran, will you also explain a bit on the financial terms, because for me, I'm coming basically from a BI background. So some of the things which you are discussing is a bit, I'm not very familiar. So would you be covering a bit of basics on the financial part which you are covering?
So the course main objective, the answer is yes. I'm going to help you on that. The main objective of this particular course is to enable a fresher that may be finance, he may be finance background or non-finance background. That doesn't matter. Yeah. So if you have some experience in any other domain, in finance side or in SAP side, other modules also you can have. If you don't have also, okay. This particular training helps you. This particular training gives you one implementation project experience with the basics. So here you are going to learn finance. So finance, I prepared one PowerPoint presentation. So you will understand with that PowerPoint presentation, you will understand the basic financial terminology. Like you should know P&L statement. You should know what is balance sheet, what is cash flow. You should know what is debit, what is credit, what is expense, what is income, how the cash flow hierarchy looks like, how the P&L hierarchy looks like. So these basic terminology, some 50 pages only, right? If you go through, you will understand. So I will enable non-finance guys as with this particular terminology. Second, if you have engineering background, CA background, or whatever the background, I will tell you how the requirements will be gathered, how the solutioning can be done, how the project is implemented. So that means you get one project experience. After this training, you can say I implemented one project, and you can go ahead with another project implementation directly. That's the main objective, to enable the freshers who does not have any background of BPC or finance. But one thing, when you are learning consolidation, see, there are two parts here, right? Planning and consolidation. Planning, yes, 100% you will understand, but consolidation, whatever finance knowledge I have given, that is not sufficient, and I also don't suggest you start your career with consolidation if you are non-finance guy. First, start with your career with planning. Once you get enough exposure, go through some more documentation. Whatever I'm teaching, I'm going to give you the functionalities. If you go through that consolidation recorded sessions, whatever I give, 2-3 times, definitely you can also work on consolidation. When I teach consolidation, I teach logically. I will cover the functional part, but I will tell you how the consolidation engine works. So it will be easy for you to understand and work on consolidation also. Yeah. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself. Just click on that microphone icon.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, quick question for you. This is Matthew. Are you also going to cover the group reporting?
Group reporting is a separate course. I'm going to start that group reporting course after 1 week. Group
So
reporting comes from after 1 week. Yes. So group reporting is part of S4HANA. It's a different product and it deals only with the consolidation.
Yes.
It won't work for planning. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is, I see that the way you're structuring your program is precisely for probably somebody who doesn't know at all the BPC to begin with, and or maybe they're just exposed to certain type of application or platform, and then now you're training them from the beginning to the end. But do you also have a course where, for people who, let's say, you are functional well on BPC, you just want to learn more about the newer technology, such as newer, SAP for HANA or S4HANA or the embedded version, more on the technical side now? Do you have that type of platform, or this will be one for? Would you have that type of training, or this will be one for all that?
So this training is for associate consultant, like who is first project, and this training is for consultant, so who has experience in BW or any ERP system, and they are going to implement BPC. This training is for a consultant who has knowledge in BPC, but they work on some area, script projects or data manager packages, data loading part, on those things. For them also this is designed, and also this solution is for solution architect. So in this course, I'm going to discuss what are the different systems involved in BPC when you are doing like ERP systems or BW systems and those things, and how the data loading happens. And every scenario, I'm going to give the solution. Right? If you have some other systems, how to integrate those systems also we are going to discuss. So this one enables all the consultants. Like it is designed keeping in mind from associate to solution architect. Any other questions? So we are going to have the session tomorrow, same time. Yeah, same meeting request. That will be the second session. In the second session, we'll start with sales planning. We'll discuss sales planning, how the sales planning, how my customer wants the sales planning. So that solution we'll decide tomorrow. So you can also write an email to my email ID, so bpc.kiran@gmail.com. Okay, if you have any questions. Thank you. Have a nice day. I'm ending the meeting.